Among the many incredible powers the INFJ personality type emanates, there's one force they hold that trumps the rest. The one thing they utilize in their day-to-day lives that gives them their mysterious aura, while also allowing them the ability to stay calm and empathetic. This often overlooked power is their incredible utilization of silence. Welcome or welcome back, psychos. Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into it, starting with number 1. Silence makes them more credible. So, silence may not seem all that incredible in the grand scheme of things because, after all, there's nothing stopping others from utilizing their own quietude to their advantage. Well, there's nothing stopping them but themselves. And that's where the INFJ's discipline to remain attentive and non-reactive comes in. The INFJs are true intellectuals, and not because they're simply born with the ability to only uptake the most accurate of information. This clever personality type utilizes their power of silence to tune in to their extroverted sensing function when most needed. Whether it's in a workplace or schooling setting, simply learning a new skill, or gaining the trust of another person, they put their all into understanding the ins and outs of the lesson or behavior at hand. This credibility provides them the integrity and dependability from others. Plus, with a few words spoken, it gives the audience of the INFJ's words a chance to fully digest and interpret what they're communicating. This is especially necessary when they resort to using compared personal experiences, open-ended riddles, and analogies. Number 2. Their nonverbal gestures become more powerful. With their two extroverted functions being feeling and sensing, INFJs are naturally attuned to the nonverbal language of the people around them. They utilize it to the best of their abilities and often take these unspoken gestures as more useful than the words people speak. However, for other people who sometimes don't analyze past the point of vaguely listening to the words of others, this sense of silence forces them to look beyond. Since INFJs are usually quite aware of the subtle cues they give off through their body language and facial expressions, their sense of silence allows these subtle cues to speak for them. Actually, according to helpguide.org, it's important to recognize that it's our nonverbal communication, our facial expressions, gestures, eye contact, posture, and tone of voice that speak the loudest. The ability to understand and use nonverbal communication or body language is a powerful tool that can help you connect with others, express what you really mean, and build better relationships. Number 3. Silence gets people's attention. INFJs will never be caught talking over someone or talking under their breath. In fact, you'd be lucky if you heard the INFJ talk at all. The introverted nature of the INFJ not only holds them back from contributing their thoughts and ideas to group-held discussions, but it also causes them to avoid attracting attention in any way, shape, or form. Because of this backseat or behind-the-curtain preference, the INFJ holds a mysterious aura that captivates others through sheer curiosity. In a room full of over-explainers, self-boasters, and know-it-alls, sometimes the quiet one is the most intriguing. Fellow observers can't help but to question what's behind the INFJ's silence and hidden mystical thoughts. Unfortunately, sometimes this very same silence and reservedness can captivate people by putting the INFJ in a negative light. It can make them seem unapproachable and intimidating. However, for the people that dare to try and open the INFJ up, they're usually pleasantly surprised. Number 4. Silence adds to their politeness. On the opposite spectrum of intimidation, the INFJ's powerful sense of silence can also add to their prioritized moral of being polite to their fellow humans. As we said, this personality type will never fight to get a word in or overstep their boundaries within a conversation. They would never want to add to anyone's sense of already being overwhelmed. Living in a demanding and busy society where we're all constantly bombarded by noise, notifications, news reports, music, conversations, and advertisements, it can be rather refreshing to be around the INFJ. In fact, because of the constant bombardment of outside stimuli, it's fair to say that slipping in the communication of an emotion or feeling can be hard for most people. Luckily, this is all part of the INFJ's polite nature. They happily give the floor to anyone who wants to talk about the things they don't feel comfortable communicating with others. They give their full attention and show people their deeper subject matters. Number 5. Silence provides the support most people require. INFJ empathy comes in many colors. Depending on what's expected of them at the moment, INFJs have a great way of deciphering how they should alter their empathic support to best suit others' needs. However, there's no way for them to interpret which empathetic gesture is needed without first silently observing. In fact, sometimes it's the simplicity of this engaged silence that is the most powerful gesture of them all. Despite their ability to give genuine advice, it's the INFJ's silence that people admire most. Having an INFJ around is like having a counselor on speed dial. They show up as a blank slate, rarely arriving with their own baggage that they're willing to communicate. They come into every hangout and conversation with silence and openness in hopes that their empathy shows through their readiness to process even the most difficult of information. However, besides their intentional presence, this also allows for the extroverted feeling function to work in full force. Without the obligation of showing someone they care through a plethora of words they use through their calming silence in order to fully grasp the energies at hand. Number 6. Silence gives them clarity to problem solve. While their beautiful essence of silence and calmness provides the appropriate support in times where someone just needs to vent, INFJs are also the go-to people for problem solving and advice. Silence allows them to best tune into not only their extroverted feeling function, but also 2 other cognitive functions: introverted intuition and introverted thinking. With the combination of these functions, the INFJ is able to pick up on the subtlest of details within the issues they or someone else is facing in order to organize them in an appropriate manner. They can't help but to piece together the different aspects of an issue to find solutions, and this is best done when they're not obligated to communicate their findings in the moment. Whether it's an emergency situation or something more broadly related to their pondering futuristic life questions, INFJs can easily enter a more meditative state to find the best way forward. Sometimes this requires intentionally hiding away from distracted noise and goal-orientated tasks. However, when they're able to utilize both internal and external silence, they can end up processing, evaluating, and concluding information at record speed with record accuracy. Number 7. Sometimes their silence is louder than words. As the Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama once said, "Silence is sometimes the best answer." And if there's anyone that knows this firsthand, it would be the INFJ themselves. As a matter of fact, the conflict-avoidant INFJ type uses silence as an answer to any upheaval, discord, or argument they find themselves a part of, and it works in a variety of ways. Not only does it give the other person a chance to thoroughly explain their piece, but it sets the tone for a civil and peaceful debate. Should the other person not abide by the silent cue, an INFJ's silence will make their opponent automatically feel like they're overreacting due to the lack of excitement coming from the INFJ. This type just simply doesn't have it in them to drain their emotional output on heated discussions, and much rather talk only when they have a well thought out and useful point to contribute. In other words, if there's anyone that can take someone's anger from a 10 to a 2 in a matter of seconds, it's the INFJ and their power of silent composure. And lastly, number 8. Silence takes the place of their lack of confidence. Sure, a silent demeanor can certainly emulate a sense of shyness in some circumstances. However, It's a little different when matched with an INFJ's focused intent and projected engagement. In fact, because the INFJ is noticeably tuned in when they need to be, their innate silence can make them seem much more confident and self-assured than they really are. People tend to talk out of nervousness, or to override the potential perception that others may have on the account of knowledge they hold. For the INFJ, who is rarely out to impress others, they show their assertiveness through their silence. In fact, not only does this mannerism give the image of being more confident in themselves, but it actually allows them to increase their self-awareness more than other people personally experience. They become much more aware of the subtle cues they give off, the body language they hold, the faces they make, and even the automatic thoughts they're thinking, which ultimately allows them to know exactly how they're showing up. Well, psychos, that's it for today. So, do you agree that silence is your most valuable power as an INFJ? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.